today we will be covering the lower Mekong River, which includes Vietnam and Cambodia, of course, with our special guest for today, Pandaw Expeditions. So for those who don't know, Pandaw was actually born in 1995, and it was revived out of the old Irrawaddy Flotilla Company, and they specialize in obviously river cruising, but those hard to navigate rivers are specially designed in their specially designed luxury small ships, which our special guest for today, James, will go through.
So yes, we are Pandaw. As Nessa said, we've been operating for nearly 28 years now, and we started back in the 90s in Myanmar, then Burma, and our first venture outside of Burma was actually on the lower Mekong between Cambodia and Vietnam. So this is an itinerary that we've been running for over 20 years now. It's something we're very familiar with, and we're happy to continue doing this. We feel we are what we would call the experts of this river now, having operated it for so long. But yes, just a little bit about Pandaw again. What we do is maybe slightly different to what you would expect from other river cruise operators. As you saw from some of the pictures, this is what our typical ships would look like. There is no white plastic in sight. Everything is all teak and brass. And this is all sourced locally from Myanmar and from the Golden Triangle area around Thailand and Laos. So all of our ships are kind of built with the same style. And that includes in Vietnam as well and Cambodia. So this is a typical look along the side of one of our ships. We don't have private balconies for anybody. All of our walkways are outside facing. So again, you'll never really feel like you're in a hotel. You will be certain that you are on a river expedition ship. And that's kind of what we try to maintain and have maintained since the start of our operations. So if we go into our staterooms, again, they're very comfortable, they're very well appointed. They have spa-branded amenities. We offer kimonos, slippers, hair dryers, all of the mod cons that you would need. They're very, very comfortable. What you will not find is opulent furnishings and private balconies, as I said. What we try to focus on in Pandaw is not having people stay in their rooms for the entirety of the journey. We want people to come out, take part in onboard activities, the daily excursions, as well as just meeting your fellow guests and the crew. So onto the onboard activities. This is something, again, that we focus on. We try to fill your days, give you as many options as possible to keep you entertained. If you're going to be sailing for 7 nights with us, it's going to be very difficult for you to get bored. I'll put it that way. So we have cooking classes, we have fruit carving demonstrations with the chefs on board. We have tours of the ships, which are always very popular. People like to be a bit nosy and see how the crew sleep and work. We also have cultural performances. So for each country that we're in, we'll have at least one specific cultural performance on board for that country. So for the Vietnam and Cambodia cruise, we will have a traditional Vietnam performance on one day, and then later on, once we get into Cambodia, we will have a separate Cambodian traditional dance and puppet show, for example. We also have a spa on board the Mekong ships, so if you're feeling a bit tense after all of your walking on the excursions one day, you can take a massage and kind of relax.
Sorry, James, this is dropping out a little bit there.
Sorry?
Back though. Sorry, it just dropped out for a little bit. I think we got up to that's the themed movie nights.
Yes, sorry about that. Yes, I was just saying we also have fair trade shops which are stocked from local charities or local NGOs. Depending on the region that we're in, it's all locally sourced. And then plus we also have our guides. We have local guides on board. They come with you for the entire trip, and they're always on hand to just talk to you about what we're passing. If we're sailing down the river, you see a festival going on, we're able to sort of tell you what that. So if we move on. So here we've got some, again, these are just general pictures, the cocktail hours, the massages. These are some of the performances that we have. Again, it's all very bright and colorful, as is the regions that we're visiting. Some of these large dragon lion dances in Vietnam, it's really, really impressive to see in person, and especially when it's so close up on the ship. It's quite the sight. So on to our excursions. We also have daily excursions, which are included in the price. We usually would have a morning and afternoon excursion, depending on where we are. And that could be anything between walking through a local village and meeting the heads of the village, just understanding their way of life, to, again, if we're in Phnom Penh, for example, we have sort of city tours, cyclo tours. We also have bikes on board, mountain bikes. So if anyone doesn't want to take the scheduled itinerary and walk with the group, they can take one of our bikes and go on an independent cycle around the villages. This is also quite a popular option around Vietnam and Cambodia. Some of the regions are really good and really, really great for cycling. Beautiful roads, very much out of the way. It's some of the best cycling that I've ever seen. So yes, I would recommend that if you can. We also have some Pandaw charity projects. The majority of these are in Myanmar, but we're slowly expanding them around our other destinations. In Cambodia, we do have a school that we supported. We built a library in one of the schools in Cambodia. So this is one of the villages that we would visit on this excursion. We'll take a walk around the village, we'll head towards the school, and if anybody has sort of books that they want to donate to the Pandaw library, they can bring them with them and leave them at the library for the kids to use. So it's just, again, we try to really immerse you in the local area, the local culture, and also the local history. So it's what we always try to do. So the focus of this webinar is our Vietnam and Cambodia expedition. So I just want to go into these itineraries a little bit more. We call this the classic Mekong trip. Again, we've been operating this in one way or another for 20 odd years now. So we know this river like the back of our hands. This is a beautiful stretch of waterway, and it's a really, really great itinerary. Even after all this time, there has been many, many changes. It's a lot more developed now. There's a lot more tourists. However, we're still able to find a little bit more out of the way places and unique experiences to really show you what life on the Mekong Delta and the lower Mekong is really like, still now as well as in the past. So our itinerary includes transfers between Saigon and Siem Reap on both sides, depending on your direction of travel. We sail in both directions, and we like to think that once you're on board, everything is included: your transfers and your guides, your excursions. So you can just sit back and relax and enjoy the scenery. So the itinerary in Vietnam specifically, I've kind of split these into two halves. If you do take this cruise with us, you will understand why. Once you cross the border between Vietnam and Cambodia, it is quite distinct. You will notice the drop-off in in activity once you get into Cambodia. Cambodia side is a little bit more rural, a little bit more quiet, whereas the Vietnam side it's a lot like Vietnam. It's busy and vibrant. There's a lot of people moving around and shopping. But yes, the Vietnam side is it's essentially a delta system. So there's small canals, mangroves, and what we do is we really try to explore a lot of these areas. So we take small little boats, as you can see here. These are local rowing boats. We'll take these through the mangroves. The scenery on these boats is amazing. It's when people get back to the ship after being on this trip, they're like, "Wow, that was amazing! I love the little boats and sailing through these. You're in the middle of nowhere in the mangrove and in a small little boat, and it's just beautiful. It's really, really nice." We also stop at some villages and markets. This area is so fertile. They grow absolutely everything, and in massive abundance. So here's a mango seller. She's got a farm with mangoes, and they sell millions of mangoes. They have so many. And we visit a few of these places. We try some of the local fruits. There's a lot of a bit more exotic fruits that some of our guests may not have tried or heard of before. And we'll try a few of them and try to push you out of your comfort zone and show you again what life is like in the Delta. We also have a bit more cultural stops. We speak to some local villagers, some people who are trying to keep the traditional handicrafts such as bamboo weaving alive. So we talk to these people. We try our hand at bamboo weaving as well on Confolk Island, and we also visit Chowdok, which is a really, really nice town. It's got a beautiful pagoda at the top of a mountain, so if anyone is feeling fit and wants a bit of a challenge, they can walk 400 steps up to the pagoda, and you get some beautiful views across the whole delta. Then we cross into Cambodia, and as I said, you will notice once you do cross into Cambodia, everything quietens down quite a lot. It's quite stark, but it all gets a bit louder as soon as you get into Phnom Penh. So Phnom Penh is the capital of Cambodia. It is a vibrant capital city, and we dock there for one whole night or 2 nights, but we have one full day in Phnom Penh. During this day, we'll do a full city tour by cyclo. We'll see the National Museum, the Royal Palace, and then in the afternoon, we also have what is essential viewing for Cambodia. Essentially, it's a look into the darker history of Cambodia. Again, it's not the most fun and entertaining of afternoons. However, it is essential to understand the culture of Cambodia and the people of Cambodia. Once you go and see the horrific things they've gone through, you'll be very surprised at how happy and pleasant and kind they are when you meet them in the street. So I do recommend it, but as with all of our excursions, nothing is compulsory. If you want to skip that afternoon, we have tuk-tuks available. We can take you to one of the markets, and you can do some shopping around Phnom Penh while you're there. Cambodia, again, is also quite remote, so a lot of the excursions that we'll take are a bit more remote, and that includes on the Tonle Sap River. So the Tonle Sap River, we sail up towards the mouth of the Tonle Sap Lake, funnily enough. This is the largest freshwater lake in Southeast Asia, and it's just a huge floodplain, essentially. Once the rains come, the size of this lake increases from around 2,500 square kilometers up to 16,000 square kilometers. So it's quite a huge difference between the dry season and the wet season. But that creates a very fertile area. So we sail up this river, we visit some of the villages, we'll again see how they live and see how they deal with the changing waters. There is quite a large difference between the high season and the low season for the rains. So it's interesting to learn about how they manage that, how they move their villages, how they move their cattle. And then we'll also stop for an evening with the locals at Prek Salah. This is a small little fishing village up on the Tonle Sap. And our daily cocktail hour, instead of being on the ship, we will take it onto the shore and we'll have it with the locals. This is always a highlight for some of the guests. We set up a bonfire, we invite the locals over, we have a bit of food, we have some drink, we have a bit of a dance with them, and they really love it. It's an area that doesn't really get tourists very often, so we work with this village to sort of support them and again bring them some food and drink and extra reason to sort of be happy in an afternoon. It's really a highlight. I've got some pictures later, and you'll kind of see the kids' faces. They really enjoy it. We also see, again, this area is great for handicrafts. There's a silk island which again produces silk in the traditional way, and we also have a silver village, which again producing silver as they have been doing for hundreds of years. So it's an area rich in handicrafts, and we try to show you a lot of these. Again, cycling around Phnom Penh is a great way to get around. This is the dock in Phnom Penh, so if you want to get off and take a bike ride around Phnom Penh, it might not be the safest place due to all the traffic, but it can be done. Again, these are the cyclos that we take around. It's a great way to get around the city. And this is just a quick little slideshow of some of the pictures from when I was last in this small fishing village. So as you can see, we moor the ship right on the banks of the village. We set up a little bonfire. We set up our cocktail tables and some canapes, and we have all of the local kids.
Line as well, it looks like.
Yeah, the kids really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And we also have the local adults too. They come and they participate. So it's a real highlight of the trip that people say it's the most memorable part that they tell me once they get off the ship. So also, that's the full sort of 7-night cruise that we offer between Saigon and Siem Reap. If you have slightly less time, if you've got like a 2-week trip around Vietnam and Cambodia, you don't have time for a full 7-night cruise, we do also have options for the shorter cruises, starting or ending in Phnom Penh. So if you want to add a sort of 3-4 night cruise, that's also an option. Again, it will be following the similar itinerary to the 7-night, but again, just cutting off in Phnom Penh. So that's an option for you. We also have a new itinerary which we launched last year, and we're kind of working on launching some new dates for next season as well. And this is a 10-night cruise. So what we've been seeing is demand for longer cruising, slower travel, and again, this is a river that we pioneered, and we want to continue doing new things on this river. So we've launched a 10-night cruise, which essentially goes along the same way, but just takes it a lot slower. We stop at a few more different places. We try to get really out of the way of all of the newer cruise ships that are starting to operate here. We do want to provide something really unique, and this is one of those itineraries. We also were able to sail all the way up to the top of the Mekong in Cambodia, up towards Kratchi, which is where some of the Mekong or the Irrawaddy dolphins are slowly being rehabilitated, and numbers are coming back to life. We're actually working with the Dolphin Conservation Society up in Karachi to support them to maintain the dolphin populations, and also again just bringing small numbers of tourists, as we do on our ships, up to this area. It provides the locals with an alternative source of income and a reason to keep the dolphins around. So we're hoping that this itinerary and our presence can sort of help to maintain the dolphins in this area, which were threatened before COVID. So this is a really great itinerary, and we're going to have some new dates loaded for that for 24-25. So look out for that. And then, as always, we offer plenty of dates which are no single supplement. We like to say we are one of the most single-friendly operators on the waterways. We have no single supplement dates throughout our season, including high season, and so we're very happy to welcome single travelers. And on the Mekong, we also have a under 18s go free offer. So if you're traveling with children during the school holidays, we offer a free place for those kids. So we try to be very inclusive.
Yeah.
But and that's essentially it from me. Thank you very much for listening, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Great. Thank you, James. Great insight to the Lower Mekong there. And then we are actually fortunate enough to be able to offer a special offer on the Classic Mekong, the 8-day cruise, which is 10% off the website price, as well as the free flow drinks package. James, can you tell us a little bit more about how the drinks work on board?
Yes. So as standard, we offer mineral water, coffees, teas, all included as part of the price. However, if you want to take local beers and spirits, there are separate packages that we offer. So this free flow package would include all of your drinks for local beers, local spirits, soft drinks throughout the entirety of the cruise, any time of day, hence the free flow. So yes, as part of this special offer, if you want to book the Classic Mekong cruises between now and March through Wild Earth Travel, you get the 10% off, and you also get that free flow drinks package on a complimentary basis. So
Fantastic.
We look forward to welcoming you.
Yes. So if anyone is interested, please first and foremost contact your travel agent, or we're here at Wild Earth as well. If you have any questions, pop them in the chat, and James will stick around for a bit to answer them for you. One question that we often get, James, with those cruises is the added extensions. I know that there is a Ho Chi Minh or Saigon kind of tour that you can do. I think obviously pre or post, depending on which direction you're traveling. Can you tell us a little bit more about some of the added activities in there?
Yes, definitely. So again, it's quite a rich area, so there's lots to do. We have time in Saigon before. We offer a 2-night tour in Saigon, which includes the Cu Chi tunnels and a city tour of Saigon. as well as 2 nights in a hotel. We also offer a similar thing in Siem Reap. So again, if you want to see the temples of Angkor, which is one of the wonders of the world, really recommend it. We offer a simple add-on for that as well, which is 2 nights. You get 2 nights hotel in Siem Reap, as well as a full tour of all of the temples, and including actually we go and see one of the circuses, which is a really great add-on and kind of like a hidden gem of Siem Reap. So we have details of those on our website, and we can also show them again via Nissa later on. But we have plenty of add-on options to our cruises.
Yeah, fantastic. And James, out of interest, are you actually based in Ho Chi Minh? Is that where you're living in?
So yes, so I'm based in Ho Chi Minh. This is where our head office is. So it is a dynamic and vibrant city. I recommend people coming. It's what I see is a lot of people come and visit us and take one of our cruises, and they say, "Oh, I was here in Saigon 5-6 years ago, and it's completely different and completely changed." So we get that a lot. So if you've been before, don't worry, it'll be completely new to you if you come again.
I've probably been about maybe 10 years ago. I did the Chu Chi tunnels. For those who don't know, that's the underground network of tunnels that they created during the Vietnam War. And I saw they had like a labyrinth of all types of, like, there were amenities down there, like hospitals, and it's crazy. And I think, I'm not sure, and James, you might be able to answer this for me. They have actually widened some of the tunnels for the tourists. And when you go in there, they are teeny tiny. So I can't imagine how tiny they would have been beforehand. And also that feeling of being claustrophobic, I guess, and it's dark as well. Like, we went in the tunnels and we had the lights on our phone, but without that, I can't imagine what it would be like. Have you experienced it yourself?
I have, yes. It's an incredible place just to sort of see the ingenuity of them and how they lived at the time.
Yeah.
They have widened a lot of the tunnels now, so you are able to walk through them. But again, for us, it still feels quite claustrophobic, even though they've doubled the size of them. So yeah, I cannot possibly imagine what it was like back in the day when they were using them. But it's a great place and a great point of the history of southern Vietnam as well. So I would recommend, if you have time in Saigon, go to Cu Chi tunnels and see this.
Yes. Another thing that I did there was actually the war museums as well, and just kind of having that non-Western take on some of the incidences there, and just the photography and some of the remnants that they've left behind is quite amazing as well. So I would recommend that too.
Yes, definitely. Like I said, these areas, there's a lot of good history, but there's also a lot of bad history. I do recommend checking out both because, again, understanding what these people have been through and sort of their perspective, it really gives you a good background for while you're visiting the areas and the people you're speaking to. Knowing that this was in the background and this is their history, it really gives you a bit more of an in-depth understanding of their culture.
Yes, yeah, no, definitely. I think that might be it from us. There's no more questions out there. So just want to thank you for your time, James, and look forward to next week's update on Laos, Mekong, and also Northern Vietnam with the Halong Bay and the Red River. So stay tuned, everyone, and we will see you next week. Thanks
Thank you
again.
very much.
Bye.
Bye.